Hey, what's up? It's Frank here from DataDriven.tv, the podcast where we explore the emerging fields of data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. I have a surprise, well, not really a guest.
No, not a guest.
Not a guest, co-host. For the first time in a very long time, way too long time, Andy and I are in the same place at the same time.
We are having a great time, drinking too much coffee.
Way too much coffee, but we are planning some big things, which added with the caffeine is just like dangerous.
It's like Grant Cardone 10X stuff.
Yeah, right. And if you've not heard of Grant Cardone, check him out. He is awesome. He can be an acquired taste. I will warn you. He can be an acquired taste.
We love it.
When I first saw him, he was doing live streams on Meerkat.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, Meerkat.
That's back in the day.
That is back in, 2016?
Yeah, it's gone forever.
Gone forever. But still is on our hearts. He was the top streamer on Meerkat. And there's a whole story behind that. But I'm like, this one guy is just showing pictures of him landing and taking off in his private jet. And talking crazy motivational stuff. Who the hell is this guy?
Right.
And because he was pretty much, for a while, he was Meerkat. He streamed so much, it was almost criminal.
Oh, yeah.
And so you kind of get a flavor of you know what? He is a little off the charts, but he's right about some things. And then I checked out his book. And that was the first audiobook I think I'd gotten. And But no, so anyway, and then, same thing with Ty Lopez. Ty Lopez is the guy, if you've used YouTube in the last 5 years, you've seen him. He's the guy that's like, hey, what's up? This is my Lambo. Kind of like he could care less, but he's also an acquired taste. But if you listen to the message and not necessarily, if you ignore the messenger and the message, there's a lot of truth to the things that he says, which is... so
true.
Yeah. Which I think is a good lesson for life.
I agree.
If you kind of skip over who the messenger is and some of the things that... Because I think we all have that natural filter of oh, what's this clown doing or whatever.
Yeah. And Frank and I think, I'm sure there's people out there who would put us in that category too.
I know there's people that put me in that category.
Yeah. So but you know what? We have a great time doing what we do. And we are firing up. Actually, I'm going to let one cat out of the bag. We are planning season 3 of Data Driven.
That's right.
It's going to be exciting.
Yep, and we're going to work on the final details of a very special guest, someone who inspired me. It's not Grant Cardone, it's not Ty Lopez, it's somebody else. But
inspired both of us.
Inspired both of us, yeah. It's it was the guy that made me think about, hey, I should probably start a podcast on this data science thing.
And I'm so glad you thought of that, and I'm really glad you shared that idea with me. And I think I owe you a couple of dollars each week for letting me be your co-host.
No, it's awesome.
Frank's awesome.
You can't have a data scientist without a data engineer.
There we go. That's a great way to look at it.
That's really the thing.
We are the plumbers.
We are the plumbers. But when I had the idea in front of Dunkin' Donuts,
that was a killer. And you
true story. Dunkin' Donuts.
You did the video. You did a Facebook.
I did a Facebook live stream, which ended up being a DataPoint with my kids. Which, here's a pro tip: if you're not a streamer, just remember this if you do stream. If you're a streamer, you probably already know this. Don't promise your kids donuts.
No sugar promises prior to
doing your live stream. And it's probably not a good idea to have a live stream, but insist on being outside Dunkin' Donuts. Which is what happened. It was.
That turned out to be a double.
It was kind of funny, though. I can look back at it now and be like, "That's funny."
It's one of those things that I used to work with an old electrician, and he used to say to me, "Andy, one day we will look back and laugh." He was Jewish. Mm-hmm. He said, but today is not that day.
Yeah, so I wasn't really laughing at the time, but now I look back, it's the funniest thing. My kids and I will watch it, and they'll be like,
Well, it's been a couple of years. How crazy is that, right?
Yeah, it has been.
And that's like a quarter of their life. A quarter of one life.
Yeah.
And a half of another.
Yeah. I mean, it's madness if you stop and think about it. MLADS, that they call it internally, the Microsoft Learning and Data Science Summit, which is where I kind of delved into kind of data visualization and stuff when I was working in and around K Street, but not really. I'm an engineer. You can't take that.
Frank has a really good eye for graphics, and this is why I tried to get you for years to jump into BI because of your analytics. You have a really good artistic eye. You made those posters what was
Right.
that, 13, 14 years ago when we did the
2006.
Richmond Code Camps
2006.
movie posters.
Yep.
The one that sticks out is Devs on a Plane.
Yes. And I photoshopped it so not only did it have the Visual Studio logo wrapped around a plane where the snake was, but it had your book.
Yeah.
And somebody was holding your book.
Somebody was here. I want to get all these blankety blank snakes. Oh, Devs off this blankety blank plane. I'm doing a very bad imitation.
Yeah, so, but the stuff I was doing, because again, I was not a developer evangelist anymore, I was evangelizing the members of Congress.
Right.
Not the most technical people in the world. Just saying. It doesn't matter the party. I've seen things that, like, oh my God, like these people are making laws? Both sides.
That's funny.
Yeah. And so I'd go and I'd like demo Excel, right? And I'm an engineer, right? So it's like, yay, Excel. Excel's awesome, but come on.
Yeah. Most popular database on the planet.
And CRM and ERM and
Yeah.
but yeah, so then I didn't really think that there was an need for engineering skills for data science, which is saying that now sounds stupid.
Right.
But at the time,
No, it makes perfect sense.
So then when I went there, I had my literal, like, in the keynote, I'm like, they had one of the senior data scientists there talking about things that they were working on, their pipelines and their development, methodology. I'm like, it was like, you see the light shine and like, I've seen the light. I think I called you. It was like, oh my God.
You did.
Oh my God. So the lesson is, I guess, that the takeaway is listen to Andy.
Oh, well, sometimes. Not all the time.
But man, when you're right, you were like right.
It's hit or miss, but I think when I hit, I make up for the misses.
Yeah. No, so that was a really awesome summit. Got to meet some interesting people, and I got some of the best advice because we were talking about this. Is that the elitism that there was in data science?
Oh gosh.
3 years ago.
Bad.
It's still there now. Let's be honest.
It is, but it's not as bad as it was.
No.
We think that, and Frank and I agree on it. Just talking to people, like the one example was one of the guests on the show was a PhD data scientist.
Right.
And Frank asked her straight up, I believe, you have to have a PhD to be a true data scientist. And she said no. And she is one. So and I believe she teaches data science.
I think
well. So we think there's less elitism. And I think so. I think the concept that helped maybe the most was citizen data science.
Right.
And there's been some tremendous work done by people who don't have PhDs, who don't even have bachelor's degrees.
Right, that's
they
true.
just dug in and they saw a problem, they wanted to figure out more information about it, and they solved it.
That's true.
Yeah.
A really good example of that is iQuant New York. It's a website. I think the guy has a degree, but it's not in data science or anything.
Yeah.
It might be like chemistry or some science field.
Neat.
But basically, he pulls together New York City public open data sets about number of tickets issued, bicycle accidents, and he comes up with creative visualization.
Cool.
Some of it has even been picked up on by news media, where if you ever lived in New York City and you had a car, you know that some signs are very ambiguous about when you get a ticket and when you don't get a ticket.
Are you kidding me? I thought
hard to believe that there be dishonest politicians. So this one guy found a spot. It was on the border of Queens and Brooklyn. I forget which borough. Sorry, no disrespect to Brooklyn or Queens. But the gist of it is that the guy mapped it to a visualization. Oh, wow. And by coincidence, there just happened to be a lot of tickets issued in one particular area. And for years, this was denied, that any one particular spot was targeted over another. But when you look at the data and the visualization,
data don't lie.
No, people do. But the visualization kind of made it look so bad that they ultimately stopped this project. I'll have to find the link to the story because it was pretty interesting.
That's funny.
But
we need a T-shirt that says "Data don't lie."
Data don't lie. Yeah, we should make T-shirts.
So I've got Frank does T-shirts, by the way, and if you go to Amazon and search for
data-driven graffiti or something like that.
Data graffiti.
Also on our website where it says T-shirts.
Cool. Okay,
I
didn't
added
know
that link.
Oh, awesome. Okay, datadriven.tv. Click T-shirts. I just got my Data's the New Oil T-shirt.
Cool.
My kids now want one.
Nice.
Dad's cool. Thanks
there you
Frank.
go. No problem. The Data Obey thing, my son loves it.
Oh, neat.
So he has one of his own, like the kids version, and
Stevie's always wearing my Data Graffiti shirt.
Nice.
Yeah, he loves it. So, It's good that the kids are into this.
Health supports the show too. I mean,
Absolutely.
we don't. I mean, I'm not driving a Bentley or anything or a Bugatti, but it does help offset. Not yet. I saw a lot of T-shirts. No. So I mean, Andy and I. He was up in Northern Virginia. I was actually up in Delaware. Yep. And today, getting from Delaware to here felt like, was it Xenon's paradox or Zeno's paradox?
I forget which, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Xenon is an element. Zeno is a guy.
Yeah.
So it felt like, because it took me almost no time to go from Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware, granted it's a small state, to Baltimore.
Right.
And then, like, as I got closer to Tyson's Corner, it got slower and slower and slower. And I was just like, this is Zeno's paradox right here.
The best. I think this is the joke that goes with that is a group of mathematicians going to a bar. The first one orders a beer. The second one orders half a beer. The third one orders a quarter of a beer. The bartender says, "I got a math degree. Here's 2 beers. Knock yourself out."
Keep the extra. So, but no, I think one of the things that we've done is I think one of our goals is to get rid of that elitism in data science.
Absolutely.
A lot of that's just dissipating because it's a new field, precious few experts. But we're trying to keep it. We're trying to make this more accessible, and I think that's really kind of our core mission. So you're going to see a couple of things over the next. I would tilt it the other way, but I'm afraid
it's all good.
It'll mess it up completely.
We're good.
Lost my train of thought, man.
We're gonna continue to keep the elitism out. We got some big ideas. I promise we've been working on a big idea, but we had some stuff kind of come up. We needed to take care of family stuff, life stuff, business stuff. And we are pressing forward. I assure you, we are working on some really cool stuff.
Yes, definitely. Hopefully, sometime in the next few weeks, we'll talk about it.
Yep.
We're going to have that super special guest celebrating the 3rd season of Data Driven.
Woohoo!
And he's not a technology guy.
Nope.
So, it's not Scott Guthrie or anything.
No.
It'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I don't think I have that kind of pull. But, I mean, honestly, I saw him in a hallway once, though.
Well, there you go.
And, I introduced myself to him.
You didn't mention that on the Brush with Fame episode?
No, I mentioned Eric Estrada.
Yeah.
Where I was first time in Seattle. I was at the hotel checking out. I see a guy, and I was at a conference, and you know how it is. You meet a lot of people. I see a guy, this guy looks familiar. Maybe he was at the conference. So I said hello, and he turns to me and says hello. And he's flirting like crazy with the receptionist lady. And I'm like, this guy's smooth. And then somebody comes and said, your car is here, Mr. Estrada. And I'm like, oh, it's Eric Estrada.
But you totally glossed over Scott Guthrie in the hole. That's just
shame on me, man. There goes my geek
that's
card.
Another,
Oh.
But brush with fame right there.
Another brush with fame, yeah. But speaking of Delaware, I did meet Joe Biden once.
Okay.
At the White House.
Cool.
Which was pretty cool.
Cool.
Long story behind that, but it was fun.
You're famous.
In my own mind.
Frank's like the Forrest Gump of data science. I'm telling you, he goes everywhere. I got to meet the vice president again.
I do drink Dr. Pepper, so I don't know.
There you go. I'm telling you.
I can't run that fast, unfortunately. But we got some cool things headed up. That's really the bottom line. And I thought, Andy and I are rarely in the same town, same place.
Yeah.
Farmville got a shout out the other day when I was in Arlington.
No way.
I was like, see, way over there is Farmville probably.
Yeah.
Probably behind the horizon.
Okay.
But But yeah. So was at an open hack this week.
Okay.
Interesting experience.
Cool.
I like what they did with it. It was interesting. Okay. Yeah. And the event space was really cool. If we ever had live events, I totally would want to have one there. All right. So with that, you have a great day.